Hi everyone, I'm Mr. Danza, and today we're going to be talking about mathematical operators in Python. So today we're going to talk about 7 different mathematical operators, and let's follow along and let's learn them. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to declare a variable. And I'm going to call it num1 just for like number 1, and in it I'm going to store the result of 6 plus 2. The mathematical operator plus is addition. Okay, then I'm going to create a variable called num2, and we'll say 6 minus 2, the mathematical operator. The first two are easy. It's just a hyphen or a minus sign. And then let's look at num3. Let's create a variable called num3. It's going to store the result of 6 times 2, where the asterisk is a multiplication symbol. 6 plus 2 is 8, 6 minus 2 is 4, that's stored in num2, 6 times 2 is 12, that's stored in num3, and the 8 is stored in num1. Let's go ahead and make num4, and we've done addition, subtraction, multiplication, let's do division now. So let's say 6 divided by 2 / is a division operator. Okay, so we've gone through 4. Now these 3 are a little bit different. Okay, so let's look at num5. All right, we're going to take 6 and raise it to the second power. So if you want to write 6 to the second power, 6 squared, 6 times 6, that gives you 36. So 6 to the second power is 36. All right, and then let's store another variable. Let's store 6, and we'll say modulus 5. And what should happen is, this is the same as 6 divided by 5, but it gives you the remainder, whatever's left over. So we learned about remainders, I think it was like 3rd, 4th, maybe 5th grade. When we first did long division, we had a remainder, what was left over, before we actually learned decimal places, and tenths and hundredths, thousandths. We just kind of just left it as R1, a remainder, whatever. So in this case, the remainder is 1. So when I divide 6 divided by 5, I'm going to get the remainder of what's left over, which will give me 1. And then I'm going to have num7. And let's go ahead and let's say 6 divided by 2. And what the double / gives you is it removes the decimal. Whatever's after the decimal place, it entirely removes it. So if before, when I say 6 divided by 2, it's going to end up printing out 3.0. And in order to get rid of the 0.0, or let's say the answer was 3.7, it just gets rid of the 0.7. So it really rounds down to the nearest whole number. So now let's go ahead and print this all out. I'm going to write print, and then I'm going to take num1, I'm going to concatenate it, which means I'm just going to add another string to it. I'm adding a space. If you look what's inside the quotation marks, just a space. So I'm going to take whatever I had here, and I'm just going to copy it 6 more times. So I'm going to say 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'll go ahead and add a couple spaces here. And I'm going to change, instead of saying num1 over and over and over, I'm going to change to num2, num3. And I did this just as a shortcut, so that way I'm not typing over and over and over again the same things. And I didn't even add the right amount of times, so let's go ahead and I'll just go ahead and I'll finish off with num7. Okay, so we're going to print number 1, number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Whatever the value is stored there, we're going to print it. Now the problem is these are all stored as numbers, and we want to store them as strings. So I'm going to go ahead and before each variable, I'm going to type str, and then in parentheses, I'm going to store the variable that's in there. So I'm going to convert each variable into a string. And if you look, as I type in str and I open up the parentheses, it's going to tell me create a new string from the object given. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Str, and I know this is tedious, and there are better ways of doing this, but just for learning this, going through it this way. All right, so I went ahead and converted all these to strings. Let's run it and see if I have any bugs, and if I do, I'll just debug and figure out the problem. And it looks like it ran it well. All right, so 6 plus 2 gives me 8. I'm presenting that number 1 there. 6 minus 2 is 4. 6 times 2 is 12. 6 divided by 2 is 3.0. Like I said, it adds that decimal there for you. 6 to the second power is 36. The remainder, when I divide 6 divided by 5, the remainder is 1. And then when I take 6 divided by 2, and I want to get rid of and round it down to the nearest whole number, get rid of the decimal, I get 3. So I can also, let's also print out, if I wanted to add or subtract different variables, let's say I want to add num1 and num2 together, I can do that. I don't need to type out each operator and the values I've stored in there. It stores 6 plus 2, 8. It stores 8 as num1. So this is 8 plus num2 is 6 minus 2, which is 4. So 8 plus 4, I should get 12 on the next line below it. Let's go ahead and run it, see what I get. So sure enough, it worked. It printed everything that I wanted from before, plus it took num1, added num2 to it, and I got 12. So those are the 7 mathematical operators I want to talk about today. Look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks.